Hey, it's time for my week 8 power rankings, racking and stacking the top end of the NFL. Get into my top 12 here. Who's in my green room? Who's left the green room? And any shuffling in the top 12? Absolutely. Actually, quite a bit. Let's get into it. So, who is in my green room, first of all? Well, I have two teams dropping out of the top 12 into the green room. That would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons, my previous number 11 and 12 teams, respectively. Both lost at home to good teams, but they both kind of got thrashed, didn't they? Not good outings for either team. So, they're out of the top 12 into the green room. And I still have the Cowboys and Chargers in the green room. Cowboys were on a bye. Chargers lost a really close game at Arizona on the road. Still a good football team, though. And man, Jalen Reagor, what an interesting career that guy has had. And his fumble through the end zone might have cost the Chargers a W there. So the Cowboys and Chargers are still in my green room. And the other team dropping out disappearing from the green room is the New York Jets. They add Davante Adams and really bad showing. They are out of my green room until further notice, until Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams start to figure it out, along with a really good defense. But man, very disappointing performance. And I'm sure the New York Jets fans are probably a little perplexed right now. And two other teams disappearing out of my green room for a good reason. They both moved up. And well, let's get into my number 12 team right off the bat. My number 11 and 12 teams are replacing the Bucks and the Falcons. And the first team, number 12, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson into the starting job there and leads them to a 37-15 win over those Jets I already talked about. So Russell Wilson accounting for 3 TDs, and I'm really surprised. The Steelers have been in the top 12, back out into the green room, and now they return. And I'm still not sold on them as a serious Super Bowl contender, but give them credit. They find ways to win. And Russell Wilson kind of wrote him off. I don't know if I would want him as my starting quarterback, but he gets it done. And the Steelers should bag another win next week. They host the other New York team, the New York Giants. And the number 11 team replacing the Steelers and Seahawks both move into the top 12, replacing the Bucks and Falcons. So yes, the Seahawks are my number 11 team, and they went in and thrashed the Falcons. Nice road win. And the Seahawks offense is really getting it done. Questions about their defense, but they actually lead the league with 271 yards passing a game. So uh, really surprising. And they're another team I have underestimated, perhaps. Back in front in the NFC West, they still have 2 games left with our Rams, and that's a good thing. And they host the Buffalo Bills. So, man, I was hoping the Falcons would hand them a loss, and I certainly hope the Bills can go into Seattle and hand them a loss as well. Now, my number 9 team, my number 10 team dropping 2 spots, the San Francisco 49ers. Man, they are just riddled with injuries, a lot going on there. Brock Purdy kind of has a little bit of a meltdown in the second half. You know, I think this is about where they belong right now, and I have a sneaky suspicion they are going to rebound. But man, if you listen to the my Tuesday afternoon pod, not included in the video if you're watching this on the YouTube channel. They have a tough schedule ahead of them, really tough schedule. But right now they're my number 10 team. They need to get some people back. Brandon Ayuk out for the year. Man, rumors that they may be trading for Cortland Sutton. We'll see. They may have to do something unless they're going to rely on Ricky Pearsall. Hope McCaffrey comes back 100%. Deebo Samuel out with pneumonia. He'll eventually be back. George Kittle nursing a sprained foot. It just goes on and on. The bigger problem, well, I shouldn't say the bigger problem, another problem with the 49ers is their defense has just been okay. And that's been true even through the late last year. Used to be a real big strength of this team, just a devastating defense. Not so much anymore. Still a good defense. They still got Fred Warner, but they're not as fearsome as we are used to seeing. Uh, Not what we're used to from the San Francisco 49er defense. My number 9 team moving up one spot is the Philadelphia Eagles. They improved to 4-2, 28-3 win over the Giants. They traveled to Cincinnati. Not going to get too excited about a win over the Giants. Saquon Barkley really tore it up, but about where they belong, I think. Move up one spot. And also moving up one spot, the Green Bay Packers, another team I haven't been totally sold on. They get a squeaked out a win over the visiting Texans. Texans are a good football team. Packers 5-2. They travel to Jacksonville. Might be catching Jacksonville at the wrong time. They may be bouncing back a little bit. Riding steady at number 7. I think this is like the second or third week I've had the Washington Commanders at number 7, 5-2. They crushed the Carolina Panthers. And big game next week in the NFC, kind of sorting things out here. A team I haven't talked about. You know what? I should probably have them in the green room, actually. The Chicago Bears. The Commanders hosting the Bears. We'll find out a lot about them. That's probably an oversight on my part. And I'm going to amend it right now. I'm going to say the Chicago Bears belong in my green room. That NFC North, man, it is stacked. Toughest division in football without a doubt right now. And my number 6 team, just dropping 2 spots, the Texans. They're 5-2. Hey, you go into Green Bay and you lose a close game. Can't ding them too much. I'm probably dinging them too much as it is, dropping them 2 spots. And then dropping 4 spots, my previous number 1 team, the Minnesota Vikings. I have them at number 5 now, 5-1. But you know what? You're hosting a divisional rival, and you can't put it away. A divisional rival that just lost their best defender. And maybe they're coming back down to earth a little bit. Or maybe I'm dinging them too much, dropping them all the way to number 5. But we'll have to see. Is Sam Darnold really going to be able to carry this team? I shouldn't say carry this team. Is he going to be able to play at a high level through a playoff run? I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. I've always been a big Sam Darnold fan. I always saw him as a great backup option for the Rams. That's what the 49ers brought him in for. He's had a nice career. We'll see how long it lasts with the Vikings. And like we already all know, they come into Los Angeles for a Thursday night game. A short week for the Vikings, coming off a really painful loss to the Lions. And moving up 2 spots from number 6 to number 4, the Buffalo Bills. They're at 5-2. They're just rolling along. They add Amari Cooper and cruised to their 5th win. They travel to Seattle and go Bills. My number 3 team moving up 2 spots, the Detroit Lions. Hey, give them credit. They go into Minnesota, having just lost Aiden Hutchinson, pull out a 31-29 win. Hey, shout out to them. They host the Titans. Now, the Titans are a very good defensive team, but I think the Lions will just be too much for them to handle. Could be a trap game for the Lions, but I think the way this Lions team rolls, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think they'll get an easy win at home over the Titans. And I'm moving up 1 spot from number 3 to number 2. Got to hand it to the Chiefs going into Santa Clara and getting a 28-16 win. In the first half, they were just throttling that 49er running game. And then, after Ayuk went down and, shorthanded 49er offense and a somewhat shorthanded defense, Chiefs, I wouldn't say it was an easy win, but a solid win to improve to 6-0. They traveled to Las Vegas for probably their next win, right? Vegas is really banged up, as Ram fans will know. And my new number 1 team moving up from number 2 to number 1, the Ravens. Man, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, these two together are so good. Still some issues on defense, but they're overcoming They're overcoming those shortages on the defensive side of the ball with a robust offense. Uh, had some takeaways against the Bucks. Going to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a good football team, and the Ravens, they just had they down 10-0, scored like 38 straight points, something like that. So 5 straight wins for the Ravens. Started out 0-2, and now they are cruising. They travel to Cleveland. We know what's going to happen there. Maybe a trap game, but it's a divisional game, so I suspect the Ravens will be just fine. So the Ravens, my new number 1 team at 5-2. So there you have it. I think that's a pretty solid list. Should have had the Bears there in the green room. My bad. I'll make sure I include them next time. That's it. Week 8 power rankings out here from Rams Up.